Good morning, lovely people. Say good morning. Morning. Say help. Alright. Today I just want to talk about, kind of reflect over this movie I watched last night. It's called Castaways with Tom Hanks. And basically he was just the manager or just the person in charge at FedEx, making sure everything was getting together and stuff like that. And it was holiday time. He made sure he put his job first all the time. Then he was supposed to hop on a plane. I think it was supposed to go over Malaysia or something like that. But hopped on the plane, and ended up, the plane crashed. It went down. Yeah, you didn't watch it. But anyways, the plane crashed, it went down. Worst thing you could ever think about with a plane, right? So, he crashed. I believe he was the only one out of 4 people on that plane, maybe 5, that had survived. Everybody else died. He had got a raft, and he just drifted to an island. On this island, he faced a lot of problems and challenges. He had to figure out how to eat, figure out how to stay sane, how to make some fire. But time prevailed, and he ended up doing all of that. So, after 4 years of being out here, he ain't the same Tom Hanks. He got crazy hair, looking crazy, but he done adapted. He adapted to his situation. But at that same time, he grew comfortable with that location in those 4 years. So, after 4 years, I believe like a porta potty, like a side of a porta potty washed up on the beach or something like that. And he ended up using that to help make a raft. He had already been planning, doing all the mapping of where he might be at in the ocean and stuff like that. And he ended up making a raft. And you gotta think, to make this raft and leave is a big step, because he's been on this island for 4 years. This is the only sense of comfortability that he knows. And he was willing to get up and leave that with no guarantee of anything on the other side. But he just had a sense that he had to keep breathing and survive and make it to the next day. So he made the raft, him and his friend Wilson. It's a little volleyball that he made a friend out of. You gotta stay sane when you by yourself. But so him and Wilson get on the raft and they set sail. He broke tide. Now that's the issue. A lot of times you can't leave an island because the tide's so strong, especially with a man-made raft, it's gonna break. So he got smart, used the porta potty siding to make a sail basically, and he broke tide. And once he broke that, he was in brand new territory, and there was no going back. And there was a scene, he was looking at the island, and he knew that would be the last time he saw that island. But he knew that he had to just keep going and keep surviving, because the sun would rise the next day. So as he broke tide, kept going, his challenges didn't stop. He ended up getting deeper and deeper in water. More and more things happened. I think his raft ended up breaking a little bit. There were storms, and the storm took his sail. And that's when it was like, wow, like, he has no sense of direction. He has no control at this point. But he still had paddles, so he still paddled a little bit, still did a little thing. Then it got to a point where I think the storm made Wilson, his volleyball, it made him drift away from the raft. And it was a point where he had to decide, am I going to save Wilson or am I going to save my raft? He had to let go of Wilson so that he could get on his raft and keep going. And obviously, it's a volleyball, it's not that serious, but I mean, if you ain't got nothing holding on to it, that could be a lot. So he was sad for a little while, and he ended up just crying for a little while, and after some time, he let go of his paddles and just set adrift. And wherever the raft took him, that's where he went. But he knew that he had to just keep surviving, keep breathing, because the sun would turn and rise the next day. So where am I going with this? You gotta go through all your problems. Because he had no guarantees of anything better than that island when he left and broke time. So, as he barely had a little life span left, he was just drifting. Oh, I forgot a part. Along the way, he saw a whale. The most majestic thing you could ever see. He saw a whale come up, blow some water, lift his tail out of the water. And at one point, the whale actually came up and looked at him and just drifted back in the water. In my eyes, that was nothing but God. But he ended up just drifting. And there'd be scenes in the movie where the whale would just blow water on him, kind of to wake him up, because something he needed to be ready for. So the last time the whale blew some water in his face, there was a big container ship, and the container ship ended up saving him. Like, he didn't know that was going to happen. He had no guarantees of anything. He just took a leap of faith and went for it, and did not look back. That's the main part. Now, there's a lot more that happened after that. I'll get into that afterwards. But like I said, where am I going with this? A lot of times, we'll be so attached to things, and we don't really want to. We can't move forward because we're still looking back, and it's hard to walk forward while you're walking backwards or looking backwards. I'm pretty sure you're gonna fall or hit something. So the main message I gained was you gotta persevere, and you gotta stand on faith, not on your own understanding. Because if he stayed in his own understanding, he would have stayed in that island forever. And probably never would have got found or saved. And never would have made it back home to his friends and family and the people that he loved and cared about. Although, like I said, it was a lot more that happened once he got back. But, yeah, so you gotta trust, and you gotta follow, and you gotta believe that there's something bigger for you than what you just see right now. Trust that God is going to send somebody along the way to help you, aka the whale. Or Wilson. However you want to see it. Something just to keep you sane, something to keep your morale up and going. So, he got saved. He had a long-time girlfriend before he left. I don't think he was married or not, but he got saved, came back. It's 4 years now. He was already pronounced dead. They had a funeral for him, and his longtime girlfriend had moved on and got married and had a child. So when he got back, the only thing that kept him along that journey was a time clock that she had gave him, and he did everything to keep up with that. Even during the plane crash, like he jumped to get that before he got his mask. But like little things like that show you that you just gotta have faith and believe in something bigger than what you can see right now. But anyways, back to what I was saying. He got back and found out that, life goes on with or without you. She got married, had kids, and it was very confusing for her because she felt like she had to move on, but she still loved him. But it's kind of hard to double back when you got a child and family at this point. So she ended up talking to him. They finally, got to see how each other felt, but he knew that he couldn't come in and just get that back, and that was gonna be sad for him. But he took the same mentality that he had when he left the island. He had to just keep breathing, keep surviving, and the sun would rise tomorrow. have our problems, we have to continue to persevere and not get stuck on right now. We gotta see what's coming, even if we don't see it. And I just thought that was a pretty good message from that movie. So y'all go check out Castaways, old movie, 2000s with Tom Hanks. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of movies out here, but you'll miss the gems if you don't pay attention. But y'all take it easy though.